There's no doubt that this week, even from thousands of miles away, the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran has remained at the center of our reporting. As tensions rise, the prominent representatives of both countries took to the podium to address reporters, each accusing each other of killing civilians and violating international law. Neither, however, responded clearly to my question about a potential U.S. intervention.
Iran will continue to act within the framework of international law. We will defend ourselves lawfully and proportionately, but it is primary responsibility of the Council to maintain international peace and security. The Council must act now to stop the genocidal aggressor from committing further atrocities against our people. I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Ambassador, you mentioned U.S. involvement. Is Iran prepared for a direct involvement?
What is your expectation of U.S. Army might get involved in this round of escalation?
Well, that's a question for the U.S. But I would say that, you see the chants in Tehran, it's not only death to Israel, it's also death to America. So Iran is a threat not only to Israel. And I think many countries realize that, and you can hear it on private talks with many PRs here, that they're actually thankful for Israel of fulfilling this task.
When Israeli Ambassador Dezhi claimed that many prominent representatives here had privately thanked Israel for its operation, I followed up with some UN officials. Did they, in fact, thank Israel for launching the strike?
As PJ being one of them, saying thank you to the Israeli ambassador.
Dezhi, I think I just told you what the PJ has said with regard to what is happening in Israel and Iran in terms of calling for both sides to exercise restraints.
Has the Secretary General reached out for Israeli mission to say thank you, to be grateful of that?
I assume that's a rhetorical question, so I don't have to answer it. Yes.
China's permanent representative Fu Cong responded to our questions by calling for an immediate ceasefire.
Yeah, we are very concerned about the possible escalation, and I think that it is the view of the overwhelming majority of the international community that we should see an immediate ceasefire and the protection of civilians, and then the nuclear issue can only be resolved through negotiation. So I think in that spirit, the Security Council needs to take some concrete actions in that respect.
On Friday morning, at Iran's request, the Security Council convened again to address this situation. As expected, Iran and Israel traded accusations, while most member states emphasized the urgent need for de-escalation. The same message came from Secretary General Antonio Guterres. In a statement, he said he remains profoundly alarmed by the ongoing military escalation between Israel and Iran, and reiterated his call for an immediate ceasefire.
How much does the Secretary General worry about the possible intervention by the U.S. to knock even deeper nuclear facility out in Iran?
He's very concerned, and his strong appeal is to avoid any further internationalization of this conflict.
We focused on the Israeli-Iranian conflict. What about Gaza?
What we need is not to have more wars, to expand wars. What we need is a ceasefire to stop, everything, especially, to have ceasefire, permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip.
Also this week, the Security Council had a high-level debate on poverty, underdevelopment, and conflict, implications for the maintenance of international peace and security. The Secretary General stressed that lasting peace is impossible without sustainable development.
Sustainable peace requires sustainable development. The flames of conflict are too often lit and fed by persistent poverty and growing inequalities.
Oh, and one final note. Starting next week through September, the original copy of the UN Charter will be on public display in the visitors' lobby. According to Article 111 of the Charter, the present Charter, of which Chinese, French, Russian, English, and Spanish texts are equally authentic, shall remain deposited in the archives of the government of the United States of America. The document, on loan from the U.S. National Archives, is now on rare display, a once-in-a-decade opportunity to see this foundational text in person. And that's all from me.